Talking about the topics on the screen here. Number one, why do men say that they can lie to women just to sleep with them? Say that they can use women as recreational toys. Say that that's what a man is supposed to do. That's just what men do. But then get mad at women when women say that men are no good. Number two, why are men allowed to be 304s? Number two, well, that's number two. Number three, women are the reason why old and unattractive men still think that they deserve and they have a chance to get a woman. Also, not only get a woman, but get a very attractive woman or top tier woman. And I want to talk about that. This whole unrealistic idea that men have, a lot of that is women's fault. Number four, women should never give a man grace at all. Period. Never in your life. You should never do it. Number five, if you notice that most men, they never repay a woman's loyalty with loyalty. They always repay it with betrayal. So if you're the type of woman that feels like, you want to build up a man, he's broke, you want to support him, you want to help him get money, you want to help him get education, you want to help him get a place to stay in a car and all of these things, and you want to be loyal to him and not look at any other men and do this, promise you, he will never repay all of that you have given him in return. He will never reciprocate that to you, ever. He may go to another woman and give her whatever you thought you were going to get, but he will never give it to you. Most men will never repay a woman's loyalty with loyalty. It'll never happen. I would say if it does happen, that's probably about 5% to 10% out of 100. So anyway, I wanted to do this live because I saw a live of men and women. Well, really, it was men and pygmies. And they were talking about how men, are predators and hunters and want women that make them work for it. So even if they're not looking for a relationship, what they will do is they will find women that want relationships and lie to them and make them think that they want a relationship only until they are able to have intercourse with the woman. And then after that, they will show their true colors and dump her. And hey, how you doing, supervillain? That's what they said. So what they will do is lie to women, make her think that they like her, just until they can have intercourse. And then after that, get rid of the woman, even though they knew the woman was looking for a relationship. Men were saying this on a panel. And then they were saying the reason why they do that is because they don't want a woman that will be on the same time that they're on, which is having intercourse with no ties or no anything, like just, they said that they would do that because that's too easy. And they were acting like that didn't make them complete scumbuckets. And I was thinking to myself, there are so many men that will say all of these things about men. Oh, you can't trust a man. You got to have clothes on. Because if a man sees you without clothes on, he may want to grape you. And all of these things. And then y'all get mad when women say, you know what? That pretty much means you're not a good person. That just shows that men are no good. Y'all get mad when y'all represent yourself as being scumbuckets every day. It doesn't make any sense to me. How can you as a man say all of these bad things about men? You got men, if you have a dad or you had any male influences in your life, all the men that you know will tell you, hey, if you're a woman or a girl, they'll say, hey, don't trust men. Men are bad. Men lie to you. Men try to have intercourse and don't care about you. Men will use you up, do all of this stuff. But then y'all are shocked when women say that men are bad. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, if anybody wants to come up here and talk about these topics, if they've experienced this as well, if they see men that will talk about how terrible men are, but then be upset if a woman says the same thing, please join. Please join. Let me know. I would love to talk about it. Hey, how you doing, Lynn? Because this is crazy. Like I said, the
Victor, how
part
you
that I
doing?
saw about, I saw this live like I think it was yesterday, and they were talking about lying to women, manipulating women, harming women, but then they were acting like they were some good men. Like it was crazy. Go ahead, Lynn.
Victor, hi supervillain. How y'all doing this morning? I agree with you 100%, and it's funny because well, it's not. This is not funny at all. So let me try not to use that figure of speech. Men always talk about what women are wearing and how that's the cause of this and that, but we know it's proven otherwise based on the museum. What was she wearing? And based on the fact of the women in Afghanistan are covered head to toe, their eyes are even covered, and they still experience grape. The women in India still experience grape. The women in Pakistan still experience grape. No matter how covered a woman is, she experiences grape brutalization at the hands of a man. So like we know that that's proven otherwise. Also, there was a study done. I think it's by the CDC. I have to get the information about who it's directly from, but I can get that. Um, that there was a study done that shows that the men who spend time in these red pill forums and spend time in these red pill lives and these anti-women misandry, whatever the heck they want to call them, because the red pill men don't like being called red pill on TikTok, even though if you walk like a duck, talk like a duck, you a duck. Well, anyway, the more a man spends time in these spaces, the more they become desensitized to things like rape, child abuse, and you know what I mean, child sexualization, physical abuse towards women. These men are likely to be indoctrinated at a very young age, being more accepting to these types of ideologies. Not only that, but we've seen it with the 75 or how many 77 text messages with the men who were gathered together texting each other about various forms of abuse towards women. It happens, and I wish that they would stop gaslighting us. No, y'all, when y'all come together, y'all get desensitized to the plights of women. Not only that, but I think a couple of you were born with that, and it's completely dangerous. And I think we need to stop, um, coddling them. Because when I call them out on the live, and they get to talk about, oh, why you take it so far? Why you take it that far? It was happening yesterday on Michael's live. Why you take it all the way to femicide, storyteller? And I'm like, wait, hold on. Why can't we take it to femicide? Y'all don't want to talk about y'all don't want to talk about our reality. Why do it make you so uncomfortable? The funny thing is it don't make women uncomfortable to talk about, but it make y'all uncomfortable to talk about, and we're the ones who have to experience it and worry about experiencing it. So I'm gonna keep talking about it.
Okay, all right, all right. I got you, Lynn. All right, let me go over here to supervillain.
Hey, hey, sorry, I was on
Hey.
the line at work. I'm gonna be so quick. Good morning, y'all. First of all, housekeeping, y'all tap up the live. Triggered always has a space for great, intelligent conversations. Let's show her some appreciation, y'all. This is a hard thing to do, and she does it very well. Let me tell you, Triggered, you are doing Mother Nature's work. If no one told you, let me be the one. That's what I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say this, and all the points. I want to hit all of them, but I'm gonna spend a block. I'm gonna try to generalize it in one by saying, and I'm gonna.
Oh, you?
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I
That
can
was a
hear you
work
now.
call. Okay, sorry about that. I'm gonna try to generalize it with number four about women not giving men grace. Y'all don't give them grace. Give them hell every time. When these men ask for peace, be that what I say all the time. Be that itch in the middle of the back that they can't scratch. Like, don't let off their neck. A lot of the time, these men lie. They lie for no reason. I say all the time, triggered, when they say good morning, I got to look up in the sky and make sure the sun is out because they lie just for no reason. One of the biggest lies they tell is the protection and provision. It's a pseudo solution. Men think they can protect and provide for women because they cause the problem they're trying to solve. Men can simply do no harm and not hoard resources, but they won't do that. They won't do that because they know when women have autonomy, ultimately their contribution in life becomes minuscule. This is why they create problems and then want to be the hero and solve them. I'm gonna say this: love is one of the biggest ones that they try to push, and I'm not saying that there aren't men and women who aren't in love. You, for example, have a great marriage, but I'm gonna say this: oftentimes, when I'm gonna shout out my girl T, she does her marriage for business, not love uh, lives. They come up and say, "What about love? What about love?" All of a sudden, they turn into these hopeless romantics every time we want to talk about security and being safe and being taken care of. I'm gonna ask women this, and I only come up here to teach women and address women. How come that love they talk about is supposed to keep you full at night when he can't buy you groceries? It's supposed to keep you warm at night when he can't pay the bills, but that same love is never strong enough for this nigga to just get a second job so he can take care of y'all, right? We got to start thinking, and this is why I say don't give these this grace. Be on they effing neck. If you notice, men fare very well when they're in like very, very strict and boundary environments. I'm gonna say like the military. Men are absolutely positively one of the best and best people they could be when they're submissive and under the rule of someone very strict. I'm also gonna bring attention to monks. Monks who do not engage in sexual activity, avoid women, and have a very strict lifestyle are one of the safest people to be around on earth. So no, don't give these dudes grace. Be on their neck like a mosquito in the summertime in Alabama, okay? And I'm gonna come back because I definitely want to address the other prompts, but you know I gotta windmill capitalism, the true enemy. I will be back. Triggered.
Okay, all right. All
Thank
right, I
you.
appreciate you, super villain. It's always good to hear from you. It's always good to hear you speak for sure. But yeah, like I said, I think that both the ladies made good points. It's just like I said, it's really just crazy to me that men just go so far as to expose all of their bad behavior and actually act like it's not a big deal. And I think that we as women, I don't know if the women that are listening in this, panel or in the live are like this, but I think it's easy to become like numb to the things that they say. Because like I said, it was literally the live where these men, and they were older men, I'm talking about 40s and up, talking about the fact that they like to hunt. So they don't want to get married. They don't want to be with a woman in a relationship, but they want the pleasure of conquering a woman. So what they do is lie to women and make these women feel as if they want a relationship with them only until they have intercourse. And then after that, they drop the bomb on the lady and tell them that they don't want a relationship or they ghost them or whatever. And they were like, that's just the man's nature and that's just how men are. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if that's just how men are, which is to be deceitful, predatory liars, then what would be the reason why women would want a man? What would be the benefit of having a man if all of you guys are predatory liars that only care about your own feelings? And then it's like, then when women come up and say, oh, men are no good, I don't trust men. Men are liars. Then all of a sudden you over there mad at the women saying that they hate men and stuff like that. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. I think they prove the point of, that women say every day. I just don't think that we really, I think we should just call them on it every time, to be honest. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Well, you sound like a terrible man. And so do the rest of the men here on the panel. So why would anybody think fondly of men? And then they always want to make it like a woman is missing out if she doesn't have a man. Oh, you're missing out. You're missing out. Your life must be terrible because you don't have a man by your side and all of these things. And it's like, How was that when you guys said that it's in a man's nature to cheat? It's in a man's nature to be disloyal. If you get sick and you can't have intercourse, he feels completely fine to go and satisfy his needs. He can't wait on you. It's his nature to want to have a variety of women and not be loyal to you. Like, I don't, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, what would be the motivation for all of these things? Like, like it doesn't make any sense. Go ahead, Coach T.
Hey Trigger, good morning. How are
Hey,
you?
pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I won't complain. Hey Lynn, I see you on mute. Hey Lynn. Um, I wanted to talk about very specifically. I watched your video this morning. I always watch your video as soon as they upload while I'm getting ready, and leave a like
Thanks.
in the comment. But yeah, I watched your video on YouTube this morning about number 4, well 4 and 5 specifically, and so I'll speak to those two. And I will say that in any capacity or any relationship, women should never give men grace. You never give them grace. You never give them the benefit of the doubt, because you'll be left with nothing but doubts. They will take advantage of your kindness or your patience and your willingness to help them. They'll take advantage of every single tool and resource that you have and that you're willing to offer them, and won't feel they won't feel bad about it. They view women in their lives as a resource. All women. This is something that I've had to, or I work with I have a 14-year-old daughter. I work with her on understanding is that even when it comes to her own father, don't give him grace. If you ask him for something and he don't come through with it, then you have to implement a consequence for that. I asked you for this thing, you didn't give it to me, so now either you show up with it or we don't have nothing to talk about. Period. The same thing with her younger brother. I have a 6-year-old son. The same thing with him. I tell her, don't give him grace. When you set a boundary with him, make sure he understand that you're not playing around with him. If you tell him no, or you tell him he can't have something or he can't do something, then that just means no. It's a no. And so you have to really be militant with men. Not like somebody mentioned the military, like you really have to be militant with men about your boundaries. And you mentioned this in your video on YouTube Triggered, about giving men one chance to play in your face. I don't even say a full chance, a half a chance. As soon as they even start to look like they about to play with you, oh nah, like you got to cut them off. You got to cut them back. You can't play no games with them. And like I said, any relationship, even in professional environments, I've watched men, especially black men, play in black women faces so bad in professional environments. Like, this is a job. Like, we're here working, and you're manipulating these women and you're playing with their emotions, and you're using all of these different tactics to try to get them to do your work. And it's just really sad. So women, especially black women, have to be vigilant, and they have to have an understanding of who they are first and foremost, and how they want the relationships with the men around them to be. Don't let a man come into your life and tell you what he's there for. You give him a job, you give him a role, you set a standard, and when he doesn't do what you want him to do or need him to do, he's got to go. The first NO, he got a GO.
All right, all right. I definitely agree with what you said for sure. And I think that you're doing a great job, letting your daughter know these things in advance. That way she doesn't become a victim for sure. Okay, I'm going to go here to Tara, then Michael, and then T. Go ahead, Tara.
How y'all doing?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I hope my I just want to say first of all, we you know how these men program each other. I think the perspective shouldn't be, if he do something, assume he gonna do it. If it come out that he didn't, then all right. But like, assume he gonna do it. Like, I think the whole perspective of like not preparing for the worst. But when you say a lot of women, I ain't gonna read it. That's crazy. But like, what happens is men have conditioned women to see the perspective totally different. Like, oh my goodness, if I sleep with a lot of women, I'm the man. No, you're an insecure bitch. Like, you insecure because, like, if you want to mess around with a lot of people, why you can't just say it with your chest? You know what I'm saying? You got your phone under your pillow, you sneaking around. That's childish behavior. That's very childish. And the men love to say that to each other like they getting one up with somebody. But they're a bunch of insecure ass bitches, to be honest. Like, y'all insecure, so y'all sit there talk about how you sneak around on the person you with. You like to play this weird cat and mouse game. But if you really like was that man, you would just be out there slinging it when you want to. But y'all won't do that because you're afraid that that woman that you tied to gonna leave your ass or say no. So like they misconstrue, they manipulate. So I just want to say that like the whole perspective of cheating, only some insecure motherfuckers who cheat and hide. You can't tell your partner that you want to be in an open relationship and you want to sleep around. That says a lot about you. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sorry, it took me a second to mute. You know what? I definitely agree with you. I mean, I definitely agree, and I think that a lot of men know that women won't tolerate that type of behavior, so they do that, and you're totally right. All right, let me go over here to Michael and then T. Go ahead, Michael.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I just I've been listening to the live, and it's unfortunate that this is where we are in a society, and I totally agree. What you're saying is valid about your feelings. Even though all men are not like that, a large percentage of us are, and the ones that happen to be not like that, we receive backlash. And I see it too with some of my best friends, like the little stuff that they're doing. I'm like, bro, if you don't want this girl, and I can see she's a prize to him, and it's like, well, no, I'm just, she's not doing that. So everything you're saying is valid. Never let a man make you feel like what you're feeling is not valid. And you see what I'm saying? I say this to my mother. I say this to my sister. I have a son, and some things are coming out in his. I'm gonna snap him back in line when he get out of college. But yeah, you're exactly right. The only thing I can say sometimes from my experience, when you see a lady that you're interested in and she got that exterior, yeah, you have to understand that these things may happen, but it got to be something going on within you that you don't lash out, because some men really do want a good relationship and they're balanced and they have did shadow work with themselves and understand the drives on the inside of them. And that may not be the case with him. I had that with my ex, and I had to leave her alone because she became abusive, pulling, at my hair, pulled it out by the root, all kind of crazy stuff that she needed to work on. And I get where she's coming from. But again, most of the times you're going to see some type of imbalance on one side or the other. But, keep doing these groups, supporting other women that have been through these things, because you guys are important. And it's very unfortunate that we are at this place
Hold on, real
that,
quick. He just get his shit off and then try to validate us. That was wild.
excuse me.
Oh,
What?
go ahead, Michael. You can finish what you're saying.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I don't know what this lady is talking about, but yeah, I was just saying about my experiences and my mother, my sister, and things. But I don't. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
done.
Okay. All right, Michael. All right. I'm gonna go down here to T, and then I'll go to Supervillain.
Hello, what's going
Hey, how you doing,
on,
T?
y'all? I'm Gucci. I hope everyone's having a
Thanks.
good
Hey,
one.
Tara.
I hope everyone's having a good Nassandra's gold digging morning like myself. Hold on, I'm about to gold dig right now. Hold on, I'm about to ask this dude for some money. Hold on, I'll be back.
T. Let me. I'm gonna go to Supervillain, and then I'll come back to T when she gets back on here. Go ahead. Go ahead, Supervillain. Oh my goodness. T is something else. Let me see here. Well, your Supervillain's microphone is blanked out. So, yeah, T, you back?
Oh yeah, I'm back. I had to
Okay, okay.
secure that money for a second. Hold on, wait a minute. What you mean not 1,200? I said 1,200. I didn't say a G. You missing 200, sir. Okay, anyway. So, yeah, when it comes to like men, like, using women for recreational uses, that is very normalized. That's normalized that you can just stick it in anywhere and just bang every woman that you see in sight. And then when we talk about relationships, you notice the only type of relationships these men know about is just chaotic relationships, because they don't have good discernment, because they running around having sex, having like meaningless smecks with every woman that they see that can get they hard on. That's why they have no experience in good relationships, because they do not have good discernment. They have no experience with a healthy minded woman, because they was too busy just living with that societal you know kind of what is that? I'm gonna just say culture that, well, you a man, you can have sex with any woman you want. You can have sex with any woman you want. And then if we talking about healthy relationships, the men cannot relate to it. They only can talk about supposedly toxic women, because all you have done was having sex with women. You never got down, never got in down, sat her down to talk to her.
You muted T?
No, yeah, no, it was an alarm that reminded me of something. Um, Yeah, because I've noticed when I talk on my panel about like, marry men for business, I noticed the correlation I found out with men is that they don't have good discernment, because all y'all do when I say, okay, you get with a woman, you take care of her, but the first thing they say is, not every woman is like that. Not every woman can be taken care of. And I always ask them that question: why are you wasting your time with a woman that you don't care about? Why are you comparing taking care of your wife to a random woman? If you do not know how to pick a good wife, sir, that's your problem. Y'all too busy running around saying it's okay to sleep with every woman. When it comes to choosing your wife, y'all don't know how to even do that. Y'all don't even know how to choose a good wife, because a lot of them are unhealthy minded themselves. They expect to run around and stick in it like, if they fuck enough women, they are going to land a healthy minded woman, and she's going to drop it low. She's going to cut tui on it, put the thing down, flip it and reverse it, cook, clean, sew, do laundry, and then pay half of the bills. That's unrealistic, because that's unrealistic. That's impossible to get all of that. And I'm not saying there's not no women that do all of that, but she's going to be stressed out and tired. And you wonder why you can only come speak from a perspective of a chaotic relationship, because you don't know how to find a healthy minded woman, because you are not a healthy minded man. And that's the problem. A lot of these men, the men that we are dealing with, are not healthy minded.
Okay, all right. All right, I got you, T. All right, let me go here to Supervillain.
Hey, Trigger. Yes, I'm back.
Hey.
Thank you. I had to rush earlier because I had a work call. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna just reiterate what I said a bit earlier. It was less people in the room. I do want to piggyback off what T said. Uh, and it's gonna just go back to number four. Don't give these dudes grace, because let me tell you something. You can flip it and reverse it on a handstand, cook a 5-course meal that deserves 3 Michelin stars. You can do all that, and they'll still cheat on you with a woman who burns ramen and got bad knees. It don't matter. It don't matter, because cheating's not about women, or it's not about you. It's about them and their insecurities. I'm gonna say this, and why to me, I feel like is the inset of misogyny. Men understand that their contribution to this world is minuscule. And when they see women have autonomy, it reminds them that they are really not important. And when that happens, here comes things like patriarchy. Remember, these they create the problem that they trying to tell you that they will solve and be your hero. I said it earlier. Men feel like they need to protect and provide for women instead of just simply do no harm and stop hoarding resources. But if they did that, they would see again that their contribution, even in Mother Nature, is minuscule. I always say it all the time. When they need to release their fertilizer, It literally takes 9 seconds. However, it takes 9 months for a woman to create a baby in her womb. They know their contribution is minuscule. Their life resource is the only importance they have is making us insane and crazy and giving us problems to solve themselves. That's why I hate when I hear this provide and protect. It's such a pseudo solution. It drives me insane. I said earlier too, men are actually the submissive ones. That's why they do fairly well in the military. They are good at taking orders from somebody in a higher position. That's what they need to do. This is how we need to start dealing with them and navigating with them. To be honest, there was a time when women were just communal. Again, men's contribution wasn't that huge. You take their DNA and take our baby back to the community. But again, because they started realizing, maybe we're not that important, that's when they started making these issues. And I'm going to tell you this, and I said it earlier, triggered. They also lie for no reason. If these niggas tell you good morning, look up in the sky and make sure the sun is there, because they will just lie for no reason. They do it because they can open their mouth and speak. A lot of them complain about women not liking them for who they are, but they were never themselves in the first place. So I never understand that math. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of them complain about things that don't have any like, it's none of their business. Like when they bring up things like child support. Why is that the biggest thing they're talking about? But they said only 30% of them actually have kids. Or then they'll go into the paternity fraud thing. Like, they just bring up things, they cause chaos and problems because they need something to solve. Again, because their contribution to the world is minuscule, and I need to keep reminding women of that. I think I'm gonna yield there for now.
Okay, all right, supervillain. Let me go up here to Black Betty.
Hey y'all. Let's see. So
Hey.
absolutely, men like to place the blame on women to deflect from being a degenerate. And then and a lot of times what I have a problem with the men on this app is when you look at their history, and this is the reason why they don't want you to go deep into their history, because they want to talk about the problem, but they don't want to admit that they are the problem, because you will find that they have also created multiple babies out of wedlock. They have also had babies on their wives. They have cheated on their wives. They have ran the streets. They have felonies. Like, they got all these things, but they want to sit there and talk about women and what women do and all this other kind of stuff. And the reason why men act like degenerates is because women allow them to act like degenerates. And then when women had that 4B movement, where they were like, well, we not going to deal with men and allow them to drag us through the mud, and we're not sleeping with y'all, we're not going to go on dates with y'all, we're not going to, whatever, have babies with y'all. Then they started punching the walls, and they started punching the air and sliding down the walls, right? Because they don't really want a solution. They just want to be degenerates and blame women for their degeneracy. And supervillain, what you were talking about when it comes to submission, I hear this a lot from men. They want women to lead from behind. That means they're okay with women making the hard decisions. They're okay with women, all I said, making the hard decisions. But they want, when a woman goes out in public, they want to say, my man. They want the woman to say, my man, my man, my man. My
Yeah.
man made the hard decision. My man is the one who did X, Y, and Z, and I followed, even though he did nothing. Even though she's usually the one that's out there filling out all the paperwork. She's the one that's out there, I don't know, saying what school the kids go to, registering the kids for school, the dental appointments, the doctor's appointment. She's the one who makes the house run like a well-oiled machine. But then when she goes out in public and they say, "Who makes your house run like a well-oiled machine?" He wants her to say, "My man, my man, my man." And that is the issue, especially when we have in our community. It's our men's ego.
I think that Black Betty, you made a great point. excuse me, I think that you made a great point. I think that that's exactly what it is, and I think a lot of times that happens with just like the several big movements that we've had, like civil rights movement, Black Panthers, all of these things that women were really behind the scenes doing a lot of the things, but black men got the credit for it, and it made it seem as if they were doing it, and that's why nowadays, with black women disconnecting or saying they're not going to do, they're going to put their cake down or whatever, that you don't see those movements. You don't see those things because black women were always the ones that were behind doing it. It's just like, in my opinion, I feel like it's like almost like a thing where women are the brains and men are the brawn. So if there's some heavy lifting involved or there needs to be some physical labor, then that's when men take over. But everything else is really not on them. And I definitely just believe that, me personally, like I was just saying, I just think that women have got to stop giving men grace and giving men a set of rules to live by that they don't give for women. Like the whole thing of men being able to be loose and be for the streets and have a million different babies, and women still, there are a lot of women that will still give them chance and opportunity, women that will give men that are felons that have been locked up chances and opportunities, even though, like, if you're a felon and you've had like violent crimes or ex crimes or things like that, that's like a mark on your name against society. You're looked at badly. But there are always women that will give a man an opportunity to be with them or to give them a chance for a relationship. But you notice if a woman has been engaged in like ex work, or she's been engaged in like prostitution. I don't know how to really mess that word up, but y'all get
You
what I'm
say
saying.
restitution. Yeah, restitution. That's what I be saying.
Prostitution. Okay. Prostitution. Then men are like, oh no, she's dirty forever, even though she might have did that like 20 years ago or 15 years ago, or this and that and the third. Men never forget. Men never give women those type of grace for those type of what they consider to be permanent life mistakes in a man's eyes. But women will always, there's always some woman willing to give a man grace for like a permanent life mistake. And like I said, this even with things like men, like will have touched somebody, touched the kid, raped the kid, and you always find some goofy woman willing to accept it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And the more, if women have got to stop doing these things, like, and that's why I will forever be my slogan. You've got to stop giving men grace, because men do not give women grace. They don't. If they think that you are ran through, you washed up, they think that you, if they're against single mothers, or they think that you got too many kids, or they think you did that and this, that, and the third, they do not deal with you, period. So I don't understand why women give men something that they never give. And that's even with men that are good men, decent men. They still won't. They'll be like, oh no, I don't like her reputation. I don't like this. I'm not that type of man to accept that. But it's always a woman willing to do it. You know what I mean? But anyway, let me go up here so everybody can get a chance to speak again. I think it was a started for Lynn, then Coach T, then Tara, then that would be T again, I guess, super villain, and then Black Betty. Unless everybody else has something to say, like right now. That's pressing. If you do, you can.
I think Supervillain had.
Quick to what you
Oh,
said.
okay. Yeah, go ahead, sis. Yeah, you
I
can go.
just wanted to piggyback of what you said, and not just the giving grace, the inflating of egos. And I just wanted to piggyback behind you because I was just on a panel and that happened. I think we were talking about. Anyway. It's my fault. I like to go into places and disrupt, but it was a bunch of wives, but not wives like you, Trigger. The pick me wives that say things like, which absolutely frustrate the heck out of me when I hear things like, "Oh, I love that I can like not think when I'm walking with my man in the airport and things like that." My thing is like, but you planned the whole trip, you got the money together, you set the itinerary, but you give your man the props because he held your hand and walked through the airport. By the way, and I don't know if this is a New York City thing, the airport in New York City is definitely not the place I want to be a bobblehead or airhead. My head is definitely on a swivel because I fly out of JFK, but maybe that's a New York thing. Like I'm definitely not going to be an airhead around there. But even other and like in other things, like when I hear women be like, "Oh, they can't take out their trash," or like my man mows the lawn or change the tire. which is great, but why do y'all act like that shit is rocket science? Like, I seen women carry heavy ass laundry baskets every single day. I seen women on TikTok take apart their washing machine and put that shit back together. Meanwhile, this nigga don't even know how to operate the dishwasher. Like, stop telling these men they're doing rocket science because they do things like mow the lawn. Like, and most of them don't even do that anymore. That was just one of my pet peeves that I had to bring up. Stop inflating their egos, because the more y'all do it, the less that they actually do. And the last thing you want these men to do is not be useful for labor, because then they're only good for one thing. And if they're going to be around, and a lot of them are going to be around, let's make them as useful as possible. That's all I'm saying. I yield, Trigger.
And that's the thing right there. They be doing the bare minimum and they giving all these words of affirmation without them even earning it. That's the thing. It'd be the most laziest bum on the couch, on his mama couch, not doing nothing, but demands that his woman give him encouragement and talk nice to him, saying that he's a good man. That's that mommy treatment that we be talking about. A lot of these pick me chicks be acting like their man is not their man. They be treating them like that's their mothers, like they're their mothers and shit. And that's exactly the toxic dynamic that we be talking about all the time. These toxic men basically want a mommy, someone to tell them, you did a good job, boy. Oh, you drew this beautiful drawing, even though the drawing is ugly as fuck and you can't see what's what. The sun is purple, the grass is blue, and all the people that was colored are orange and pink and brown, and you go, this is a good job, son. That's exactly what these men want. They want all the, like, you know, like the congratulatory applause with doing the bare minimum. And what these pick me's are doing is making a, like, you know, boosting their ego, and they don't be doing nothing. Just like a bunch of pick me's admitted that they was running around talking about how they man paying all the bills, and all this time they were paying the bills. Cause the one thing, like, with remember when we have these conversations with these so-called married women and stuff like that, remember that's a flex on another woman. That's the part that I don't think that we talk about often, how women use marriage as a flex on a single woman. That is why they obsessed with talking about they man, they man, they man, they man, they man. It's not like, you know, so when they sit there and want to fake the funk and paint a picture that they have an enviable estate, it's basically just to tell, like, just to make another woman jealous that she has something that other women want. They all just paint a picture, just like just the idiot, just the idiot. Like, she want to talk about like how, oh, I would forgive my man 20 times versus letting 20 men play me. So you basically saying that you don't mind your man cheating on you. You don't mind your man cheating on you, having babies outside the marriage, bring you all kinds of STDs, but it's just the idea that you can just say that you have a husband. And that's the part that's cuckoo. And a lot of these men want exactly that.
I mean, excuse me. I definitely agree with you. Like I said, I've seen spaces exactly what you're talking about where women attempt to do that. Married women. I think that those women are low self-esteem weirdos. I think that there are benefits and positives to everything in life. You could be, there could be something positive with you being married if you had a decent man, but the thing about it is a lot of women don't have decent men. You could be totally happy and have a great time being single and going out with your girls, living a life like a rich auntie life, enjoying yourself. There's ways to live as a black woman that you can be happy in every avenue. But anybody that tries to hold something over the head of another woman to make her feel less than, respectfully, she trash. You know what I'm saying? And I don't respect that. And just like you were saying, just the idiot. I had went over there when she first popped up on TikTok, and I just, before, this was before she had really said anything, or at least I hadn't seen her say anything that was like out of pocket. I just felt like that's what it was, because it was her over there. It was another girl over there that I feel like she's really fake. I think her name is Brittany or something like that. I know she's married. She tries to act like she says she's like this life coach and all this other stuff. She tries to make it like she's not really like her, but she is, because every pick me space that I have seen with toxic married women who do seek to do exactly what you just said, she always there. She always there. She always talking. Anytime I see any type of men that are like, you know, They are very toxic and they believe that women should just be at the lowest. She's always there talking and yeah, but I definitely agree with what you're saying. And I think that's really a disgusting thing to do because I'm thinking about like I was raised like really religious. I think I've told everybody that. And I remember like they would get like married like extremely young there because, you know, people were not having intercourse and the people didn't want to sin. So people were trying to hurry up and get married like when they were like 19, 20, 21. And I remember being like 21, there was so many women that were married, you know, in my congregation or whatever that would do exactly what you're talking about. And I think that's why, even though I'm married, I just really think that that's like such a disgusting thing to do because I know that that's just not a good thing to do. And if somebody does want to be married, that can hurt somebody's feelings or make them feel bad. And there's women that don't care, of course. But there are some women whose feelings you could really hurt by doing that. And I don't know. I just think it's gross. And I don't like women that do that, but I don't like women that do it in any way. Even women that have like a certain type of luxury lifestyle, they may be making a lot of money. They may have like a really nice, condo or loft or something. And then they try to call other women broke or something like that because they don't have it. I just think women that do that in general are just trifling. And I think that they're lacking in some type of self-esteem that they need to put other women down to make themselves feel better. But yeah, I just think it's gross. All of it is gross. And I don't stand for it, period. I would never.
What they
I'm
have
a
allowed is a man's treatment to validate who they are. That's what they're obsessed with, trying to convince you that a man's treatment of you is your validation. He treats you how he feels about you. So if he's not giving you, if he's not doing this for you, he's not there for you, then he don't like you and all this other stuff, which in some instance that can be true. But however, to make it a woman's identity is what I'm totally
Yeah,
against.
yeah. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. Let me go up here too. I'm sorry, you guys. Let me go up here so I can make sure everybody gets a chance to speak. I'm gonna go to Lynn. I'll give everybody 2 minutes. That way we can make sure the other four ladies that have been waiting get a chance to speak. Go ahead, Lynn. Then T. Then Tara. And then Black Betty.
Yeah, I just want to say, like I always say, when you do these things for men, they don't look at you and say, "Oh my God, Trigger T Tara, like they're such wonderful women. Like look at her making all these sacrifices for me. Look at her doing all this kind of stuff. She's a wonderful woman. That's awesome. Like I got myself a good woman." When you do this stuff for men, they don't look at you like that. They look at you, they look at themselves and say, I'm a hell of a
Well,
man.
I can't say
Like,
that. My husband do that. He does do
no,
that.
but
But
like
but
yo,
I'll just
well,
say for
we
everybody
know.
else.
Yeah, but like a lot of times, like these pick me women or like some regular women, like your husband over here thinking that he's the wonderful man. Like, oh my God, like she's doing all this shit for me because I'm so wonderful. Like, you didn't cross his mind, like, not once. He's like, wow, I must be a wonderful person because this woman is willing to sacrifice all of this for me. Not once did you cross his mind. And furthermore, like for pick me women, it sounds so miserable. Like it sounds miserable. It sounds boring. Like whenever I hear them talk, I think about like Wade in the water, Aunt Jemima, kitchen bitch. Like I don't want to I don't want to live that type of life. I'd rather be a city girl than Aunt Jemima. Like I don't want to do it. Like y'all are boring and miserable, and it sounds like y'all about to pray over somebody with some blessed oil and like cause me to catch the Holy Ghost and pass out. Like all y'all voices sound battered, taken down. Like y'all don't travel, y'all not experienced, y'all just miserable. And I'm sorry, Trigger, but I'm gonna have to say, like most of the time they be broke too. Most of the time they be broke. Like pick Misha. I'm
Um
gonna say that she's broke. She wear the same Walmart T-shirt, and I'm saying this because I had a little run in with her yesterday. You wear the
oh,
same Walmart T-shirt. You don't travel. You be in the house cooped up with them babies all day, and she like, this is the life I chose. I have to raise my kids. If you're overwhelmed by your kids, then you're a bad mom. And I was like, girl, like let's be so fucking for real. You know you want to break. You know you want to be on an island in Cancun enjoying yourself, but your man can't even take y'all on a group a vacation with just you and him. Y'all don't have that. You convince yourself to live this life of squalor, and it couldn't be me. It couldn't be me. Like it just couldn't be me. Shout out to the single moms who make the sacrifices that they have to make, and also learn that they should enjoy themselves and take me time. I'd rather be that than like forcing myself to live this lowly peasant lifestyle just to appease a man's character. Like
You
it's
know,
weird.
I would say that it's also actually terrible to be living that life with a man that is, like I don't like to rate people, and I've said this before. I don't because I feel like it's immature, but I'll rate in this position, especially dealing with a lifestyle like that and dealing with a man that is not even rateable, like definitely a -5 or something like that. And definitely what you're saying is right. I definitely believe that there's no money present because that man has cavities on his front teeth. If you're not willing to take some money to the side to fix your teeth that are showing to the world, your front tooth, like your eye tooth, the very front two teeth, something is not right. But I definitely think that with her, I think that she didn't really expect that people would end up finding out her husband what he looked like. So I think that she thought that people would just look at her and make
I was talking
her.
about Jalazzy. I was talking about
Oh, you
Jalazzy
know
Pink
what?
Nisha.
When you guys talk about
She
Jalazzy,
married. Is
that's
she
what
married?
that's what I'm saying. There's so many people that have told me that she lies about being married, or she is, or she isn't. Because I had problems with her too. Like she did a whole live about me one time and sent all of these people to my page. And she's crazy. Like that lady is a nut. Because her name used to be, I think, like Miss Picnisha or Picnisha or something like that. She's like a
To be
real
Pink
weirdo.
Nisha. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard that she's not even married. But maybe y'all know something that I don't.
That might be why she's so miserable because she's living a fake life. But like either way, I had to clock her tea yesterday because I told her that women from other countries actually do date um for lifestyle, and I forgot what else I said. And she was like, it's obvious that you don't travel. And I was like, honey, you do not want to go. She said maybe you should travel more to see people in other countries. And I said, honey, you don't want to go passport for you don't want to go stamp for stamp with me because I know you haven't been out of Detroit, Pookie Bear, honey boo boo. You don't want to do that,
I bet
okay?
you
I
she
know
was
you
mad.
living in squalor.
You
I
know
bet you she was
how
mad.
how women like that gonna sit there and say you should see women in other cultures? Women in other cultures can't drive. You
See,
will
y'all got
literally
hold up. Are
benefit
y'all
from
gonna
that.
move around? Cause like y'all got like if y'all gonna move around, we gotta move around.
What were you saying, Tara?
Keep giving the order, and then it's like, hold up, this person want to have a side conversation. That's not considerate. That's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
Tara. Well, I'm sorry about that, but I just have to let you know that this is kind of how my panels go. I don't know if we've had a chance to speak before, but I
No, it's
kind of let
fine.
some things happen like organically too. Like if we're having a conversation, I'm not really a taskmaster like that. And at the end of the day, this is free 99. You know what I'm saying? This nobody's
No,
getting paid
it's
for this.
not. It's not that. It's just it's the communication of it. But it's fine. If it's going that way, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm in
Well,
no
let me hurry
rush.
up that way.
I just wanted to know what the way it was going. I was a little confused. That's all.
Okay, well, let me hurry up. That way you can get a chance to speak, Tara. All right, I'm gonna go to you, Coach T, and then right after that we'll get to Tara.
Oh, thanks, Trigger.
No problem.
I want to say that this is all a game for men. Like they love this. They love that women have to exert so much energy in our relationships with them. They love to play mind games. They love to cause confusion. They love to just in general play these games, and you have to kind of disrupt their flow. And so if you're a woman, as I can speak to this because I'm a recovering pick me. I was in a relationship and I did any and everything I thought that the man wanted me to do, chased them, did all of this stuff, cooked and cleaned for him, supported him, lifted him up, did all of these things for him. And there's no loyalty. He's moved on with his life. And not a second thought about my life or my goals or whatever things that I gave up in order for him to be put into a better position in his life. But for women, when we keep just giving and giving and giving and giving of ourselves, men don't appreciate that. They don't respect that. And they actually really hate us for it. And so a man who you have to give everything up for is going to end up resenting you. And he's definitely going to get rid of you when he's in the position that he wants to be in, because he doesn't need you sticking around to remind him of the loser that he actually still is and that he used to be. But for women, especially, you kind of have to disrupt men's program. Like, you have to throw them off. I noticed something about with my ex that I mentioned. I gave him too many times to play in my face. And every time I would catch him cheating or, flirting with another woman, doing whatever, he had the same program. He would tell all of these girls the same things. He had the same story. It was like, as a woman, when you disrupt their program, they're going to start short circuiting. They're going to be like, when you start questioning their lies and start like, well, wait a minute. 1 + 1 is not making sense. This is not adding up. This is not equaling 2. So for women, it's dangerous for us to keep being these pick-me's and keep, my man, my man, my man, and keep lifting up a man who is clearly playing in your face. This is all a game to him. And we're taking it so seriously, and we're taking it too seriously. And then we bringing kids into it. And it's just really becoming a mess. And so women we have to get out of these behaviors. Like, don't give men grace. Don't give them loyalty. Never give a man your loyalty. I don't care what he do. You'll never be 100% loyal to him. Never love a man with all 4 chambers of your heart. Never completely show him who you are. Keep some of you to yourself. So, yeah, I'll wrap it up there and let Tara have a turn.
All right, and I wanted to say I appreciate you, Coach T, and I just want to say that before I get to Tara, I'm so sorry that happened to you. I really am, and because I know how it feels to have somebody play with you. I really do, and I'm so sorry that happened. I'll talk to you more about that, but let me get to Tara. But I just wanted to say that, and I appreciate you for sharing. Go ahead, Tara.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, I love being neurodivergent because if the default programming for everybody is for men to be some bitches and women to be male identified. And it's like, I kind of wanted to comment earlier what you said about the women who brag about being married. I don't care what level you think that man at. Like, being married to a man, you gotta sacrifice. Like, you gotta humble yourself. You want to sacrifice something because it's conditioning. It's so deeply ingrained. The real flex is to be single. I wish a bitch would be like, oh, my man in my face. I'm like, girl, get the fuck out of here. Because where's your identity? Like, who are you outside of that marriage? That shit is weird. Like, that's the weird shit right there. The real flex for a woman is to be able to move freely throughout this world and not be tied to no motherfucking body. That was all I wanted to say.
I mean, I just have to say, like, I disagree. I disagree. I think the real flex in a black woman is living how she wants to live, whether that's single, whether that's married, whether that's single with children, whether that's single without children, however you want to live, as long as it's healthy and as long as you're being treated well. That's the flex. I don't think just being single is a flex, because I think a lot of times when people say that, they're coming from a place of hurt, which is cool, which I understand. But there are women that are happy being married. There are women that are being loved properly. There are women that are being loved on and being treated like queens. I don't say that a lot because I don't want people to feel like I'm trying to flex on them, because I would never do anything like that. But I am definitely being loved on and being treated the way I need to be treated by my second husband that I've been married to for 15 years now. My first husband, I could definitely say that's no type of flex at all in any way, shape, or form or fashion. And I don't compromise. I don't let nobody play in my face. I don't do things that I don't want to do. I don't sacrifice. He sacrifices for me. I don't. And I think that a lot of times when people don't understand, when you say things like that, it puts it on everybody that they're living the same life. And we're not. We're all living different lives. We're all going through different things. We're all experiencing different things. So I don't think one way to live is better than another way to live. I think that being single is a great way to live if that's how you want to live and things are going great for you. I think that marriage is only a good way to live if you're being treated correctly. Do I think that the majority of women that are married are being treated correctly? No. But I do think though, if you are, then it can be something that is also a good way to live, just like being single is. But let me keep going forward to this person.
It's not a place of hurt though. It's
I mean, well,
for me.
whatever you're
It's
saying,
enlightening.
I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're saying it's from hurt or it's got to
No,
be from something.
I was just trying to add
No,
that
let me
it's
say this before you say anything. It has to be from somewhere because you don't know what everybody's marriage is. All you know is from whatever you've experienced. So you don't know what everybody's living like because truthfully, when somebody's married, nobody knows what's going on except the people in it. So it's coming from somewhere because it's not something that you're educated on. So I'm gonna keep going. To this person here, I'm gonna go to Black Betty, and then I'm gonna go to Faith, the person that was you know, yeah, was doing all that woo.
Yeah,
See
you
what you
might as well just drop Faith because she's here to like collect coins. So like, yeah.
you know what? I want to hear what she got to say. Black Betty, do you mind? Do you mind?
I yield.
I cause she's not gonna be here long, Black Betty. Go ahead, Faith. I'm gonna unmute you. What is it that you wanted to say? Cause I noticed, yeah, what did you want to say?
فرام سوريا يا أختي، فرام سوريا واحتاج إلى
Oh,
المساعدة. الله يوفقكم
oh,
ويكون
okay. Get
بميزان
out of here.
حسناتكم.
Get lost. Get out. Get lost. Okay, I didn't realize that she was not even gonna be speaking in what you call it. Like she's a weirdo. Okay.
Telling you like they I think they from Pakistan, whatever they from. They go on different panels, they cam up and they beg for coins.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant that she was gonna be begging for coins because she was gonna be on some pick me type of time. That is so weird. Like,
Oh, she over
anyway,
in
Oh well,
Pakistan
so
with our
yeah.
homegirl getting her money? Oh, Nisha?
no, I haven't. Excuse me, you guys. I just wanted to say something real quick. I don't want it to be taken the wrong way. I think that I have been, very open in the panel in saying that I don't care how Black women live as long as they're happy. You can say that you don't want to be with men forever, and that is completely fine. And I totally understand why. I would never tell a Black woman I don't understand why she would opt to be single. I would never tell a Black woman why, if there are Black women that don't want to date Black men specifically. I can understand why a Black woman would come to that conclusion. I can understand why a Black woman would just say, hey, you know what? I don't want to be a mother. Even though I'm a mother myself, I have 2 daughters. I can see why a woman would say, hey, nah, kids is a lot of work. They be doing a lot of stuff, getting on your nerves. I don't necessarily want that lifestyle for myself. I understand that as well. I understand every way that Black women want to live, and I have no problems with none of it as long as you're happy. But I think that this whole thing of just making, I feel sometimes, which I don't say all the time, but I feel offended when people just automatically act like because you're married, you a slave, or you getting your head knocked between the washer and dryer, or he cheating on you, or you somewhere being his mammy or mule or whatever, because I'm not like that. I don't play those type of games. I never would. I never will. For as long as I live, I don't care if I was 70. I don't play nobody cheating on me. You cheat on me, you gone. I don't play nobody putting their hands on me. You put your hands on me, you're gone. You make me feel like I'm not important, you're gone. You did something to my kids or something like that, you're gone. Like I'm not that type of person. So I just don't like it when people just want to come in to make, and I think that this also a reverse thing. Just like people say that there are married women that try to put single women down and make them feel better. That is absolutely true. I see it a lot. But there are also single women that like to put married women down and make them feel bad because they maybe want them to get on their team or whatever the case may be. I don't know what the deal is behind the reasons behind that, but it's definitely a real thing too. And the lady dropped, I did not drop her. You already was trying to police the panel and I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? But I just let it ride and rock out because I'm not a hypocrite. If I say that this is a safe space for Black women, it means it's a safe space, even if I don't agree. You know what I'm saying? Because how am I going to say it's a safe space for Black women when if there's some different type of perspectives, I try to stop you from saying it. then that means it's only a safe space for me and what I feel is acceptable. And I don't want it to be that way. You know what I'm saying? But what you're not gonna do is act like you gonna tell me how my experience is, but you don't want nobody to do that to you. That's not what we're gonna do here, baby. And you're not gonna tell me how to do what's going on, and then you think I'm just supposed to just let you come in and do what you want. Like, I'm nice, but I'm not that nice. And just don't make me. Please don't make me be like how you pushing for me to be. So it's probably good you did leave. You know what I'm saying? And the other lady that was up there, she left too, but I don't know if she left because of the other lady. I'm not for sure. But I just wanted to say that because I upload these lives to YouTube, and I just don't want it to be any type of misconception on how I feel. I wholeheartedly believe that black women should do whatever they want to do. I don't see nothing wrong with none of it. Like Supervillain said that she's a separatist feminist. I understand where she's coming from. I do. That's why I don't ever say anything. Like, I understand. And I don't disagree with the majority of the things that she says. You know what I'm saying? Even T,
Absolutely
she,
respect your marriage, Trigger.
yeah,
All
and
the
I
time. I
respect
always say I
everything.
respect your
And
marriage.
yeah, and I
We be on
respect
a vibe.
everything that you say too. Like, honestly, I respect what you say. And even T, she has a different outlook on marriage and men and stuff like that. I mean, I always agree. Phone call. I was gonna say I definitely understand where T is coming from. I understand where all the ladies are coming from. I just wanted to say that. It's just like I said, that was just wild to me. Like, I don't play the whole nice nasty stuff. I don't play that you trying to throw shade at me and then you want to try to act like that's not what it is when I haven't did nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know you. This is my first time ever seeing you, I think. And if it's not my first time, you don't come enough that I remember who you are. But anyway, let me keep going and let Black Betty speak because she didn't get a chance to. So go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, so I was just well speaking on that. Wasn't what I was going to speak on, but I will say that it's really kind of hard as a wife to navigate through TikTok. Because if you're going to get on a panel with a lot of wives, you end up getting on this like weird trad wife TikTok where like everybody's talking about how it's a woman's place to be in the kitchen and she needs to submit to her husband and um like just like just the trad wife conversation. You need to sacrifice and like they were saying it's a sacrifice and what else, the whole trad wife rhetoric. It's you need to be of service to your husband and everything's about you not having an identity outside of your husband. So like I mean I'm not against trad wives. I can sit there and have a conversation with them and hang out on the panel with them, but I just don't really agree with a lot of their rhetoric. But it's nice to have a conversation with other wives where you're not like in single people's conversations, talking about do you want to go 50-50 on the first date? Like that's not I really am trying to navigate out of that single person's conversation and more into a wife conversation, but I end up on trad wife talk and sometimes it's kind of annoying. But then when you go to the other side of TikTok, then it's like, I don't want to sit there and like be bashing men all day. And, and if, and like sometimes I'm even afraid to even say anything nice about my husband because I don't know how it's going to be taken. So I kind of like go back and forth between one space to another space, but it's really hard to find a space where, I'm just a wife. Like I
Yeah.
happen to be a wife. I happen to be married. My husband doesn't run me. I don't run my husband. We're just in a partnership, and it's hard to find those spaces, especially with men, because when you get into those type of spaces as a married woman with men, the first thing that they try to do is dominate you and the conversation and come and just slap their Peter Pecker on the table and be like, oh, you're a wife, great, now you should not only submit to your husband, but you should know to submit to all men because we're X, Y, and Z. So it's a little annoying, just trying to have these kind of conversations on TikTok. And I'm gonna land with that.
You know what, Black Betty, you're totally right, and I definitely agree with you. I do think it's a weird space to be in, and I'm going to address though two people in the comments, Tanisha Scott and VJ. who both of y'all, let me see, let me click on y'all names. Tanisha Scott, you don't follow me, but VJ, you do. I want y'all to know something. If I came up here and I said that single women were bitter women or something like that, which I would never say because I don't believe it, y'all would say that I'm making presumptions about a whole demographic of women. I have no idea why y'all feel like it's okay to make a presumption about a whole demographic of women. Like I just doesn't make any sense to me. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. And you know, how many have you talked to, VJ? Has it been, was it 10,000 or you think 1,000 or you think 500? You get what I'm saying? Because I know it hasn't been more than 1,000, right? So then what really perspective do you have? Like, you know what I'm saying? Goofy. Like, I'm not even about to let y'all make me upset. I'm just going to block y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to block y'all because when I feel like y'all attacking my character, because one thing I feel like, and this happened with another lady that I had to block, you're not going to make me feel bad for my experience in life and make me feel ashamed. You're not going to make me feel ashamed that I have a husband that love me, that don't cheat on me, that don't beat on me, that pays all the bills, that shows me every day that he will do anything for me. You're not going to do that to me. Like, it's just, I'm not going to feel ashamed for that. Especially seeing as though my first husband went oops upside my head, did all of these things to me. I had to flee the state to get away from him. I know what is bad and what is good. And y'all not just gonna do that because I want to come back on y'all ice cold as well, but I won't because that would offend other people. But I'm just gonna block you heifers. All right, go ahead, T. Yeah, I'm gonna do me, VJ,
Oh.
and I'm gonna block you, VJ. You follow me, you about to get blocked. I don't understand why you would follow me in the first place, but you're about to be blocked, and I'm gonna screenshot you, and I'm gonna block you from every page that I got. You're gone, and I'm gonna block this other person too. I'm just blocking.
I understand their point of view when they say that they don't like as single women talking to other married women. That the experiences on this app, I ain't gonna lie, those a lot of those women do be like male centered. So you know, I get
I
what
mean,
they're
I get it, but it's just not me. So it's just like I think I've been here on this like TikTok space for quite a while. You know what I'm saying? For people to know that it's not me, especially with the content that I make, especially with the prompt that I got. The prompt is right now is men ain't no good. So exactly what would a male centered woman make a prompt that says men ain't no good for? So it's like you taking your rage and frustration out on the wrong person. You need to go to, like they was talking about earlier, Shalazi, Pick Misha, Just the Girl, the Britney Girl, and a whole host of others. What's her name? Miss Reform Pick Me, the real Jane, you know, who's still a pick me that be still begging men for attention. There's so many women that y'all can go over there and attack and go in on that are actually male centered than to go in on me. Like it just don't make no sense. There's plenty of women that they can go to and dog out, but not me. I refuse to pay for the sins of other male-centered married women that are goofies. I'm not gonna pay for it. That's all I really gotta say. Like, I'm not gonna pay for it because if I went to different spaces and saying, hey, I've been dogged out by single women, so now I go and find all the single women TikTok lives and be an ignorant douchebag, it's like, what people would tell me, why am I doing that? So it's like, nah, I'm not paying for the sins of somebody else. I'm not finna do it. Especially for the free ski. Ain't nobody paying me to be up on here. I could go to YouTube and quietly make my coin. I'm definitely not I'm not finna pay for the sins of nobody else. No. Mm-mm.
I feel what you're saying. I feel what you're saying. You know, like just like what you and like how Supervillain be saying, like we just on the side of women, whatever they choose. When I hear women saying that being single is a flex, like you know, I've only been officially legally married for like what less than almost a week, and I feel the same way how I was single. Like ain't shit stop. Like, am I still happy? And I'm still being a gold digger? Am I still centering like my child, my son, and I'm still living like, my best life, yeah, it ain't shit doesn't stop, and I would say like the only thing is just when we have these conversations and everything, it does get, a lot of married women do like to like switch the conversation and talk about like, like how good their husband is and blah, blah, blah. And I do too, only just to explain the point to women, just you don't have to lose yourself to obtain a healthy minded man. And that's if you choose to connect yourself to a man, if you choose to attach yourself to a man. And I always say this continuously. I could be single for the rest of my life, or I could stay married to this man for the rest of my life. Either way, I'm still going to be fine. Like I said, it doesn't affect me. And that's just on the page that I want women to be on. Like, we all can be on one accord and all agree that we want women to basically be happy in their decision, whatever
You
decision
know,
may be.
I was just gonna say this. I'm an only child. I have no brothers. I have no sisters. I have no connection with my family at all. Not grandparents, not cousins, not uncles, not nephews, nobody. I don't speak with my parents, who I was raised by. They were married. I was, lived with them all my life. I don't speak to either of them. They're both alive. I don't have any connection with anybody other than, my two children and my husband. I have no problem disconnecting from things that don't serve me or cause me any type of distress or pain. So, I guess that's probably why I take it like really serious, that if I'm willing to not talk to my parents, the people that birthed me, and my entire family, because I feel like they're disrespectful and they violated me on multiple occasions. And I also divorced my first husband as well because he was overstepping and violating. I have no idea. Like, I just feel, I guess maybe it's me. I shouldn't be taking it personally because it's not me, but I just feel personally offended when people try to throw me in the boat that I would be somewhere just to have a Negro around. I would be going through any type of mistreatment. I would never. Like I said, I don't even talk to my mother who birthed me because she is disrespectful. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, okay, this is how you want to be. All right, you can go your own way. I sent her a goodbye text and that's it. So I just like, you know what I'm saying? I haven't talked to my father for almost 2 decades. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I just don't play games like that. Like, so I guess maybe I need to figure out how not to take this personally, but I feel like I don't know how I can not take it personally if I'm married and you already know that, and you come into live and you start talking about how married women are slaves and Aunt Jemimas and all of this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, and congratulations on getting married, T. If I didn't say that already. But yeah, so I that's all I'm saying. Like, I just don't like that. And you're not gonna disrespect me in my life, and you definitely not gonna disrespect me when I know the truth about my existence. And I know that I'm happy. And I know that if I wasn't, I would never stay. Period. I don't stay. That's one thing I don't do. And I don't know if y'all knew this as well. I was friends with somebody here on this app in real time. I think I already told y'all. Y'all know everybody that's on the panel, definitely no, everybody. Coach T knows as well. This person that I talked to in real life, in real time, that got mad at me because I said that I would not, date a white T man. I said that I was repulsed by them. And now I said that any other race of man, I probably would entertain being with if I was single, if I was interested in the man, maybe. But white T men, no. And I was friends with her for a little while. We was getting to be really close and whatnot. And you know, we're not gonna talk no more. And that's just what it is. And I always question myself because I really don't be caring like that when people like really just overstep or I feel like they violated. So I just want y'all to know, like, I'm a different type of person and I really don't care about separating from something that's not serving me at all. I believe that that's what everybody should do in their life, and more people would be happy if they did it. So don't put your experiences on what you know that your mama went through or your girl went through. Don't put it on me, because maybe they not built like me. And that, not to brag on myself, but yeah. But let me just keep going. Super
Mhm.
Villain or T. Okay, T. Yeah, you can go ahead if you have something to say, and then I'm gonna go to Super Villain.
I could go last. I could stay running my mouth. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, I'm gonna go to Super Villain and then Coach T. Oh,
Okay.
and then T after that.
So, Trigger, I'll say this. The very first time I came on your panel, I was feeling your vibe, and you let me be me with my whole separatist feminist thing, and you know I don't hold my tongue. So I'm gonna say Trigger is not the person that be one sided. If she'll agree with you, she'll agree with you. If she don't, she'll let you know. You keep it pushing. It's not personal. It's her page, right? I don't think there's nobody more single than me, and I'm here all the time. I don't get offended by when Trigger talks about her marriage. I don't feel contempt. I feel happy for her. She don't be mad at me when I be talking my shit, and I be talking some crazy shit as a married, and she's a married woman. So I just want to know we can be adults and not agree on everything and still have a mutual respect and even still like each other. Because I love Triggered, and I'm pretty sure you are fond of me. I don't know Triggered, but I think you are. So I just want to put that out there. I think oftentimes, and I'm always going to blame men at the end of the day. This is somehow a man's fault somewhere. I'll figure it out. I'll get there. I'll get there.
That's my girl right there. She said it's all a man's
Oh
fault.
yeah, absolutely.
It's
Because
his
they
fault somewhere.
absolutely. I'm gonna say this, and as a single woman, right? And this is why T knows me best out of everybody. And she knows I'm not a girl's girl. Like I'm for all women and girls having their things, but if I don't rock with you, I'm not about to sit here and pretend to be friendly and stuff like that or anything like that, right? I'm not the girl's girl. People often think I am because I'm a feminist, but I'm not. It's this. When I hear you talk about your marriage, I don't feel contempt because I'm happy being single, right? And when I hear that you're being taken care of, I'm happy for you. It doesn't make me feel like, oh, I'm single and I'm content. No. And I think that's what it is. I'm not saying the people that were up here, I'm just saying in general. A lot of time women use the whole feminist or man hating thing to mask that they're angry about not being with someone. I'm going to be honest. I hate to say that, but that happens. Just like how sometimes women use marriage to flex and they're not actually happy. So I hate to sound like these niggas. Man, it's a
You
both
said it,
sided
I
thing. I
didn't.
had to say it. I see what these niggas say when they say that, and I hate to say that, but I'm gonna say this. We can both. My main thing is we can have opposing views and be respectful and still like each other. The important part is the respect. Now I'm gonna say this: as a single woman on this app, I catch strays from everywhere. They call me miserable. I mean, I'll take the mean because I am mean triggered, so I ain't gonna be mad at that. And I do go and marry women lives and troll, so I can't be a hypocrite and say that I don't do that. But I do be catching strays as a single woman as well, mainly from the men. That's why I said it all boils down to men too. But I just want us to remember, don't let these dudes triangulate us. At the end of the day, it's a triangulation thing. There are women who are happily married. There are women who are happily single. There are women who are miserable single. There are women who are miserable married. There are women who are happily mothers. There are women who are miserably mothers. There are women who are happily childless. There are women who are miserable that they don't have children, right? There's the dynamic in all spaces. As long as we have respect from each other, respect each other's boundaries, and be adults, I think we can, you know what I'm saying, navigate. Like I said, I'm an extreme separatist feminist. Trigger is married, and I be here all the time. I be rocking in here. I be waiting for her to come on. She get me through my shift. And I just feel like having the respect is the very important thing. So I think I'm gonna yield there. That's about it.
All right, thank you for that, super villain. I really do appreciate it, because, like, I don't know, I just didn't like that, and I think maybe, because I'm a person that like really overthinks about things. Maybe it was already off the rip the way she just came and tried to like regulate the panel, and I didn't even know you. Like, it's just like, yeah, you're doing a bit too much, ma'am. You really are. But I just don't want people to think that because I really do try to live this, not arguing with black women life. I will argue with a black woman. I just try not to. Like, I try not to, but I will if I had to. But I try not to do that. Like, most of the time, if I see something is going crazy, like, I think it was like Black Betty that was just up here. She's really nice. She's a very intelligent woman. She had thought that I remember she had told me that she thought that I wasn't adding her up on purpose because it was like, well, like a couple times I think she was up there, but I just got distracted and then I didn't remember the order in which the people were up, and I think I ended up leaving alive or something like that. And she had asked me about it. She was like, "Hey, is there a problem?" Like, what I'm saying? I was like, "Oh, no, 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 no." I just had no idea. And because she brought that to me, I just remembered in the future. Like, I always remember her name. So like whenever I see her, she sent a request, I make sure I add it up, real quickly. And I just feel like I really do try my best to be the best I can with black women, but it's just like I just wish that some women wouldn't take that to mean that just means like you just about to sun me. Like you just about to. No, they don't mean that. I mean, it's just that I'm trying to be nice. Um, but anyway, go ahead, Coach T.
Thank you, Trigger. Well, let me say I always appreciate your space.
Thank
So
you.
whether I agree or disagree with you or anybody on the panel, I always appreciate that you're willing to cultivate this space and have this space and hold this space for women, but black women, especially because we don't get the chance. Like you mentioned, you're an only child. I come from a big family, so I'm used to like having conflicts like with my sisters. I have 5 sisters, so like I'm used to having, different conflicts or, different points of a disagreement and stuff. So for me it's like it's to be expected. I always expect it, but that doesn't make it any easier to navigate, or it doesn't make it hurt less when it feels like your sister is attacking you or being willfully ignorant to who you are and the relationship that you both have. But I also want to say that I'm happy for your daughters that they get to be in a home and they get to see a relationship that like you and your husband have, where there are two healthy people who show up every day and who choose to be there and choose to do the right thing each and every day. I think for me, being single, that's one of the main reasons why I prefer to be single. Yeah, men play games, but I prefer to be single because I know that I'm fickle and that today I choose you, tomorrow I probably won't. And then maybe the day after that, I won't feel like dealing with you. And so for me, it's like relationships and commitment you have to be very intentional about being willing to show up in a healthy way. Yeah, I can show up every day and yell and curse you out, but I know that that's not what's best for you or for me. Or like I said, I have 2 children or for my children. So I'm happy that your daughters get to have that experience because it's very rare for all young girls, but especially for black girls to be in that type of environment. The other thing that you mentioned that I can relate to is being estranged from your parents and like your family. I have a big family, but I always tell people like we really aren't family. We just people who lived and grew up in a house together. There is no sense of a family. I don't really be bothered with my parents at all. I don't talk to them at all. My siblings a little bit like here and there, but my parents, I really don't be bothered with them at all because like you said, they can't respect boundaries. And so I think that's the biggest thing here that relates back to the topic in the prompt is women we have to set our boundaries, and boundaries is not for the other person. The boundary is for you. You tell them that they can't do this or you don't want them doing this or that. And if and when they do it anyway, you have to be willing to stand 10 toes down and stand on your principles and stand on what it is that you're about. But when it comes to relationships and friendships, I've had the same experience you had with the friend, like you mentioned. There was a difference of opinion, but the issue for me and in that circumstance was the disrespect. It was the, okay, you just saying anything now. That's like, how do we come back from this? Because you can't talk to me like that. So, like, how do we make amends? How do we navigate those conflicts? And I think that is something like Supervillain said, it's always a man behind this That is one of my main gripes with the patriarchy, is how it poisons women's relationships. Is how we as women cannot be in true, genuine relationships with each other because of this raggedy system that they've set up. I can't have a real relationship with my mother because she's a pick me and she's been chasing men and she don't know how to just be. I can't have real relationships with other women because it's always a competition. Like, that's one of my biggest issues with the patriarchy, is how it poisons our relationships, because it's always a man. Like Super Villain said, it's always a damn man.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will tell you, she had told me like that she was upset because I said it on a YouTube live. So I don't know if anybody ever been on YouTube lives, but because I'm just going streaming straight from my phone. You don't know who's in there because people's TikTok names and YouTube names be different. She was mad that I said it on a YouTube about the white man, the white T man thing and me not liking white T men. She was mad that I said it on there and I didn't even know she was there. And I told her that if I knew that you was there, maybe I wouldn't have said it so harshly. But she didn't even acknowledge that the only reason why I said it so harshly like that is because it was a white T woman in there, and she was saying like, "How would you feel if we discriminated against y'all?" And I was like, "Y'all have discriminated against us. What are you talking about?" So I just started saying how I felt, but in a harsher way because she was irritating me, trying to be funny in the live, this white T woman. And so even after that, when we had the conversation, because she didn't even tell me that she was upset by this, because I didn't know that she was there. When I texted her to say what's up, that was when she told me it all. She told me that, oh, well, I know that your first marriage was abusive. And so I could just tell you that I've never had a man put their hands on me, and I never would let a man put their hands on me because I'm not stupid and weak. But I wouldn't say that to you. And I was like, first of all, you already just said it to me. That's what I told her. But I said, even with that, I said, that's fine. I said, you be right. I was weak at that time. I was stupid. I shouldn't have allowed those things to occur. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't have took it personally like you was attacking me. I just would have been like, you're attacking, you know what I'm saying? The idea of women just accepting stuff from men. But it was real crazy. She made it like I hated her daughter, her mixed baby, and she was saying I hate her? Do I hate the child? I was like, oh, your daughter's beautiful. I don't hate your child. I don't hate you. I don't understand why, she has told me how many times, like, and this is why I notice it is like people that like either some, not all of them, but some people that really despise men. And I don't like men myself. I only like one man, but I don't like men generally. But I find it is like people that um like don't like men and don't like certain activities, they don't have a problem saying it to others. Like, but if you say something in response to them, then that's when they have a problem. Because she done told me on a million different occasions how she don't like black men and how they're shiftless, lazy bums and trifling and just completely, worthless. I never said anything to her about that. Like, oh, not my man, not my man. He's got worth. I never said that because I'm like, I understand where you're coming from. You're saying that the men that you've encountered, black men you've encountered, are bad, the black men. And I get it because the other black men that I've encountered have been trash too. So I can see why you think that. I never said anything about it. Like I'm a Christian. She just said Christianity is stupid and sky daddy this, sky daddy that. I never said anything about it because I understand. I understand why people believe that because there's so many people out here that act like Christians and they ain't worth nothing. I never challenge anybody for their beliefs. It's just like only if I feel like you're trying to put it on me. But if you make sure you say not you, then I'm cool. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
I think that
Just all of this is making me feel bad, I guess. Making me feel
don't
depressed.
feel bad. Don't Well, I won't say don't feel bad, but don't take it as you're a bad person. Like, it's I feel like in our culture, emotions have been demonized, and it's okay to feel bad, it's okay to feel sad, it's okay to be disappointed, it's okay to be hurt, especially in relationships with other women and even in romantic relationships with men. It's okay to have a feeling and an emotion attached to that. You are a human. The biggest trick that especially the white male patriarchy has done is tricked us out of being humans and our humanity, and now they're replacing us with AI. So it's okay to be a human. Like lean into being a human. That's what makes us who we are, especially black women. Our emotions and our capacity for relationships are what our superpower is. We just have to be in better relationship with ourselves instead of prioritizing relationships so much with other people. But even if, like what you said, how you felt about her relationship with a white man, or how she felt about you being in, IPV, an intimate partner situation, that's like, it's okay. We don't have to agree with every single decision that a friend makes, or anybody else makes. Like, it's your life. You have to live your life the way that you want to live it, and to constantly have to have other people be understanding or have to support every single decision that you make. You're always going to be miserable, or always going to be unable to have relationships with other people, because you're going to constantly be looking for somebody outside of you to validate your life and your lifestyle and the decisions that you make. I'm a two-time baby mother. I have two kids, two baby daddies, two kids by two different men. I hear women talk about baby mamas this and single mothers this and single mothers that. I don't care. Even friends who I have. I'm friends with women who don't have kids, and I'll tell them all the time, don't have no kids. Or even when I see them talking about, oh yeah, y'all baby mamas is this and this and that. Okay, and and it's my life. This is my life, and my choices and my decisions.
Trigger, can I clear something up real quick too, please?
Yeah, yeah.
Because a lot of these, this is just sidebar. I get frustrated because a lot of these women are making us he men or he women men hater club look bad. Like when we talk about we hate men, it is absolutely positively for the men. It has nothing to do with the women. And a lot of these women who claim to be in the I hate the men club don't necessarily hate men. They're just mad for some reason right now. I just wanted to let, as somebody who's one of those women who don't like men, I am a straight woman, right? I enjoy smacks, and I admit that men are good for DNA and labor purposes only. So I don't be out here, you know what I'm saying? I sometimes I sound a little crazy and extremist. I get it, but for those who are making us women or that hate men, I don't know, y'all just making us look bad, and I just want to throw that out there. For me, it's all men, straight men, gay men, women, or men who think they're women. I just want to throw it out there because they. I know we already look bad, but they making. I don't know. I just feel like they make us look some kind of way. When I hate men, it has no reflection to do on women. And by the way, don't get offended when I say hate men, because men out here hate women all the time and get married or have children or be with women for years and hate her guts the whole time. I'm just trying to return the energy. So you can definitely rag on men and still want to have some type of, proximity to them. I just want to throw that out there because a lot of these women don't necessarily hate men. They just really mad right now. And
You know what?
I'm
I
not mad.
I've I've always felt that way about not everybody, but sometimes. But I don't like to say that because I don't want people to feel like I'm trying to, you know how some women say, "Will you be all right if you just had a man? You just need a man. That's why you mad." I don't like to say things like that. So I feel like it's kind of like a situation of, you know how like nobody has a problem. Black people don't have a problem with black people using the N word, but you have a problem with other races using the N word because
Know what
they're
you
not a part
mean
of the
because you're
demographic.
married. But I
Yeah,
can say it without sounding kind of way because I don't think there's
exactly.
nobody more single than me.
Yeah,
So
so that's
I'm going
why
to
I
say it
wouldn't
for
say it.
you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's exactly what it is. That's how I look at it. That's why I never say things like that because I don't want people to, you know. But let me go up here to Taylor. Taylor, you had something to say, Taylor?
Hello, how are you guys doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Hey Taylor.
Doing all right. I'm doing all right. I really like the conversation that y'all are having, and a lot of the stuff y'all were saying is like resonating with things that I've like witnessed in my life and stuff. And I was just gonna say, like earlier, you were saying about like pick me mothers. My mother was a pick me mother. God rest her soul. I watched her, be with my stepdad for 20 years, and she catered to a man who could barely even, take care of her to the capacity that I believe a man is supposed to. He came with so much baggage. She settled so badly. When she met my stepdad, he already had 8 other kids with 2 different women. He got my mother pregnant at the same time as his second baby mama, and they had my sister and my stepsister a month apart from each other. He was a felon. He was a tow truck driver. You know what I'm saying? He didn't make a lot of money. My mom was YT. She came from a very privileged family. Like my mother could have did or had whatever she wanted to, but she chose to get with my stepdad after, having me with my deadbeat father. And so it was just like I was very young when my stepdad came into my life. I was like 3, but by the time I was like in, about 5 years old, I realized what was going on. Like I thought I was just getting one sister, and then there are eight eight kids tagged along. You know what I'm saying? Plus one of his baby mamas had 3 other kids besides the 5 she had with him. So it's like literally like 13 of us. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole uh situation going on. And so it's like when I hear men, like I'm 30, I have no kids because I'm traumatized from being one of so many kids. You know what I'm saying? All of us not getting what we needed. And it's like when I hear men say, "Oh, I want to be like Nick Cannon. I want to be like Cam Newton. I want to be like these other men." It triggers me so badly because they don't even know how detrimental it is as these kids get older that you've literally spread yourself. They don't even have enough for one child most of the time, let alone 8. The emotional capacity, not even just financially. And it's just like I watched my mom cater to my stepdad, put the toothpaste on his toothbrush, wash him in the tub. He never had to get up to do anything. He laid it when he wasn't working, he laid up in that bed, he watched his TV, and everything needed to be brought to him. You know, he could afford like a decent, okay life, but it's just like I didn't understand why my mom was dealing with that. What did she feel about herself where she felt like that's what she deserved? And I didn't find out until I was like, because my stepdad proposed to my mom like twice that I remember of like vividly seeing when I was a child. And my mom would told him no. And I was like, why is she telling him no? She's been with him my whole life. Like, I don't understand at this point. You know what I'm saying? I'm in middle school, high school. Like, what is the point of being with this man if you're not going to marry him? And it wasn't until probably a couple years, after my mom passed, that I found out that my stepdad was still married to his first baby mama. So it was just like, why did you stay in this? You know what I'm saying? Like, you had to have wanted to be picked. You know what I'm saying? You had to have wanted to be chosen that bad and make it work with that man that bad. And it's not like he treated her any better than the other women he was with. She still got beat on and cheated on. You know what I'm saying? Like it still happened to her. It was just in a different environment, And then when my mother passed a month before her 40th birthday. And I seen her regret. I had never seen, I love my stepdad. He did a lot for us. He was not, I would have never picked him out of a lineup for my mother. But that's all she had known her whole life was somebody who couldn't have truly loved you the way that you were supposed to be. And to have wasted majority of half of your life on it just for you to be at the end of your days and be like, damn, this is all I have. You know what I'm saying? I never saw a man love her the way that she was supposed to. And I told myself, like, I'm not going to be put in a predicament and be dependent on a man. And I'm also not going to have children because all these kids everywhere, my stepdad had 2 juniors from 2 different women. It was very much a mess, So it's like, I'm just like, I can't help but think that she was, you know what I'm saying, desperate to have a man. Because why would you deal with all that?
I'm so sorry to hear all of that, Taylor. Really am, and I appreciate you for sharing. I'm so sorry to hear that, but I do think the good that has come out of it is that you were able to, realize that that's not what you want for yourself, and to break the cycle. And for that, if it means anything, I'm proud of you because there are a lot of young women that see those things and they don't break the cycle. They just go on and they do the exact same thing. So
Right, because that's really all you know. But it's like I'm trying to work on now not being triggered by when men say things that they want to, you know what I'm saying? That's like, oh, I want to have two women pregnant at the same time, or I want to have all these kids. Like I'm trying to work on it not triggering me because men say dumb stuff all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's
We about
only
to say,
because
girl, they just be talking. Don't listen. Don't pay
yes.
them no damn attention.
Right, but it's like I'm 30 and it's like I'm even dating men in their 40s who were saying it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just so it's such a dumb thought to me and they don't even understand how it's going to affect your kids when you have nothing to leave them at the end of your days. And you really didn't give them nothing while you were here anyway. You know, like men really try to put the blame on the women, but it's just like we see what y'all have done for decades and at this point, you know what I'm saying, thousands of years. This is who y'all are. You know, my grandma on my mother's side divorced my grandpa for cheating. My grandma on my father's side divorced her husband for cheating. And when I meet men, they're like, "Oh, well, my grandma stayed with my grandpa and he had a whole family up the street." You know, that's how I want to live my life. And that's what they've seen this whole time. Oh, it worked out for them. They never left. You know, but I'm like the women in my family leave. My mother, she didn't leave. But my grandmother wasn't playing that.
All right, all right, all right. I got you. I got you. I definitely think that leaving is the best thing. I'm gonna go down here to T. If you had something to say, T.
Yeah, pretty much I agree with everybody. Hey Tyler. I agree with everybody what they said on their point of view. I just I think part of there's another side of like TikTok when we have women that want to dismantle the patriarchy, so they feel like women that's getting married are counteracting it, like being counterproductive, because they do want to dismantle it, and they feel like women contributing to it by being married, which in some cases I understand what they're saying, that is true. When you are a woman that's married to a man, that's some type of contributing to the patriarchy. But however, women, what I like for other women to understand, that believe that there's different type of liberations for other women. You know, like for me, I have decided that if I could either take down the patriarchy or I can flip it and make it work in my favor. And I chose to flip it and work in my favor and take advantage of the patriarchy, because it's really not that hard to dissect it and actually kind of navigate around it if you really think about it. So, I think when a lot of women are saying like being married is not a flex, they're trying to basically let us know that like we're contributing to that type of like the system that they want to dismantle, and they feel like is basically contributing to women's demise and everything. So I think that's where a lot of like women that do feel like that's saying how marriage is not a flex. That's just like another perspective that I'm just saying, because like I know Tara talk about taking down the patriarchy a lot. And she talks about like, not getting married because she feels like that's contributing to it. I don't necessarily believe that it's coming from a place of like bitterness. Not necessarily, because I don't know her personal life. I only could go about what she does on TikTok, which is I think is good. How the way she breaks things down is wonderful. And the only thing about when women do that, you can't say that you feel women's liberation and then dictate how women liberation should look like. That's my only thing that I would say towards it. I just like, I think women should just who want to say they want to take down a patriarchy, like women like in 4B. Like, yeah, I feel like they contributing a lot by not participating in it. Women who's on that level, yes, absolutely.
You know,
Mhm.
my feelings, just to pick back off what you said, my feelings are this, is that if you tell me that you don't like the patriarchy and you don't like it because they're telling women what to do and telling women what to be and telling women what they can and cannot do and controlling women, but then you want to bring your big head in spaces with women and tell them that the way they live and what you think that they're doing is not right. My response to that is, who the hell are you? Who the told you on what I should be doing, what you should be doing, what women should be doing? Who is in charge of any of these things? So nobody. So everybody should be able to make their own choices on what they want to do without being judged. You got dudes out here putting wigs on, and those same women that want to talk about deconstructing the patriarchy will call that dude old lady. So and will yell at you and fight you if you say, "Are you crazy? That man got a whole Franks and beans." So my thing is this: is that you're not finna tell me nothing about the patriarchy. You're not finna tell me nothing about contributing. You're not finna tell me about breaking it down. If you want to break it down, you break it down in the way that you see fit, and I will do the same. Because what we're not going to do is turn the patriarchy into a matriarchy where these heifers feel like they gonna tell me what I need to be doing. That's what I don't respect. And I think a lot of times it's just like, I know, I don't know if anybody's really into like Marvel movies and like superhero movies. There will be a lot of complaints about like how the men are always the ones that are the heroes and the ones that are in control, and they're the ones doing the things. So they would start making like certain shows, series, animated series where the girl would switch and she would be doing all of the things that the man traditionally would do. So, and I'm looking at it like, okay, well, y'all say y'all don't want men in control and telling women what to do, or y'all don't want men being the heroes or the protagonists, but then you switch and you want to do it. So a lot of times, in my opinion, I feel like it's just that you don't want men to do it. You want to do what women to do it, which I don't have a problem with that necessarily. But my thing is that if you think that you're going to switch the dictatorship, excuse me, and the oppression and the control of what men have, notably historically exerted over women, and you want to do it instead, that's where you got me fucked up. That's where you got me messed up. You're not gonna come and tell me nothing about what you think I should be doing, because you don't want me to come and tell you nothing about what you should be doing. So that's my whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
people act like when they talk about this whole patriarchy and we got to look at all men as the enemy, which I'm not saying that men are not responsible for the majority of the things that go wrong in society. They are. They are. Men are extremely violent, predatory, all of these things. We all know that. But at the end of the day, you still need men on some level. Because if you really love women, you hold women in high esteem like I do. Where do other women come from? Are the connected? Is it not the egg and the sperm cell together? Are we going to keep men locked up in the basement and only milk them for their man milk and then proceed to have a all female society? Like, how does that work out? What things go on? How does that work? How do we get that done? Because as a whole, I still don't believe that women are even able or even capable of the amount of physical violence and debauchery and the disgusting nature that men behave for women to turn around, or the degenerate behavior is really what I'm speaking of, to really do something. That's the reason why you look at Middle Eastern countries where women are doing all the cooking. They're behind most of these things. They could easily, they could put something strange in these men's food to try to take over, to do a coup. They could do a lot of things, but women don't, because it's not in their nature to really behave in certain ways. I'm not saying that there aren't some women that can and will, but the majority of women do not. So exactly how are we going about this? But at the end of the day, all I'm saying is that I don't know about Tara. I don't care to know about Tara. I'm saying I know this is not representative of what T is saying. I want y'all to know T was very balanced on what she was saying. She was, but very rarely do I. So I understand that this is only my thoughts and my thoughts alone. She can kiss my whole chocolate starfish. That's what she could do. I don't care what she doing. She ain't, whatever she doing is not productive, because you don't go and attack women that are on your side because they're not making the choices that you should do. That's where you totally messed up. So I don't respect her. I don't respect nobody that agrees with her, that does things like that feels like they should shame other women for the choices that they make. I don't rock out with it, period. And yeah, and I would say a lot more, but I'm gonna keep it cute because I'm gonna try not to be hypocritical. But I would say a whole lot more that was very nasty, but I'm not gonna do it. But I'm gonna let you go ahead and get back into it, T, since I cut in. But I know that you don't have I know that this is a totally separate thing, that you're separated from what I'm saying. So y'all, T is not saying this. She doesn't agree. This was just my thoughts and my thoughts alone. I just want y'all to know that. But you can go ahead, T.
Thank you for that. And like I said, like me and Supervillain, we be talking on the sidelines, like outside of TikTok, and we be saying a lot of times that we found like a lot of women groups do be contradicting themselves a lot and be talking in the same, like you switching from being like a male oppressor, now we're gonna have a woman oppressor, because not every woman mindset is what I would call necessarily healthy minded, especially if you want a mindset you don't accept different types of liberation, so different types of women liberation, that's the number one thing me and Supervillain keep continuously saying, that we accept different type of liberation from women, how they choose to navigate for their own survival, and we can't knock them for that, because if your way is your way, another woman is her way. Like my way is different from Trigger's way. My way is different from a other women's way. I can, me personally, I can navigate both. I could be a woman that's liberated being single. I could be a woman that's married and figure out how to work in how to use a marriage in my benefit. Even though a lot of women will say, well, being married to a man, that's just slavery. But, well, it depends on how you work it, because if you live in the United States, you automatically going to be like basically contributing to some type of slavery, like either if you with your husband, or even for an employee, or even a government for that type of case, like you are under somebody else's authority, because we literally cannot just do whatever we want to do without some type of like consequence. Like we can't just run up in the street and just say we're gonna set a bonfire, to every man. You can't do that, because that's considered murder. You know what I'm saying? There's consequences to that. So and with that like being said, like some women say that liberation comes from not having no more children. All women should just stop having babies, which I'm not necessarily against myself, but you have some women that's saying that they want to be able to procreate and have children, and I don't want to take that away from any woman. If she feels like, it's her wound, her body, her choice. It's not there for me to tell her, no, you pregnant, go get a shmishmortion, don't have no babies. That's cruel. I would never do nothing like that. And I would never promote anything like that. So, I just wish that, and a lot of women just got to be honest and just say, like, you don't necessarily hate men, you just don't like masculine men. Let's keep it above.
Exactly.
You don't
Because
like
those be the same,
masculine men.
yes. Because those be the same ones that be having the men, LGBTQ men, which I don't have a problem with that at all. I'm just saying they'll have them all up in their spaces.
Oh
All up
yeah.
in their spaces, talking to them, telling them this, that, and the third, calling them the B word and calling them fish
Yep.
and all of these other type of things. But then you got a problem with this man over here. Like that's it's all in the same boat.
And
And
that's what
that
I was
that's
saying
it's
with the
crazy. It's
contradiction.
crazy.
That's what I was
Yes.
saying with the contradiction, because I would consider like women like me and Supervillain, we're true what you call so-called misandrous, because we'll say all men. We don't care what your sexual orientation is. We don't care if you even put on a dress. You are still a threat to a XY chromosome female woman. You are still a threat because you are a male. And we don't get caught up with, just because a man is feminine, he is on our side and he's safe. No, that is not necessarily true, because a G man could be extremely violent towards a woman and give no huffs and a flying F's about knocking your teeth out, just like a hetero man would knock your teeth out. Same shit. It's the same thing. And I
Yeah.
think that's where a lot of disconnect comes from, is when we do bring up that, okay, we all women, right? Okay, now let's define what is a woman, because you cannot tell me we're gonna have an all women society and I see a man in a dress. No, that is not a woman's society. It is not. Not in my opinion. This is just me talking. That's my opinion. No, absolutely not.
I do feel like that a lot of women, I don't, so we have to find our power within what is already set up. And we need to realize what men are good for and what you can use them for. And whatever fantasy bullshit that was before, we got to let that go. It's not to say don't get married or don't have kids, but understand what you're getting into. When I started dancing years ago, I realized I don't even have to tell this man I love him or even sleep with him or really care about him for him to do something to give me some money. So why would I be out here dating a man who's not going to do for me? If you're on the receiving end of something, you have less to be upset about. A lot of women will say, "Oh, well, don't get married because of slavery," because the situation that you're in, you're giving more than you're receiving. You know what I'm saying? You're thinking it's one thing and it's not. We have to understand what men are capable of, what they're not, and just only use them for those things, you know? And I only sleep with men, you know? I only want to be around men, you know, like just like, you know, dating wise and stuff. But I understand I'm 30. I've never met no man that made me feel like I wanted to marry him. You know, I've never met no man that made me want to have a child for him. And it's not saying that I will never have kids or get married, but it's just like, you know, like right now, I understand what it is. And I'm just going to, you know, do what I can with it and not put too much of my emotional well-being behind it. Because if I end up in a situation where I'm with a man and it's like, oh, this is slavery, I hate this, I'm not getting what I'm supposed to get out of this situation. I didn't set up the terms of this situation to be beneficial to me. And that's where you fall into, you know what I'm saying? Patriarchy wants the woman to, you know what I'm saying? To give more than she receives. And a lot of women, they'll be like, oh, well, we all got to stop sleeping with them. We all got to stop having kids. We all got to stop getting married. And it's just like, why don't you just realize what things are and accept them for what they are? And I could still go have a child. I could still get married, but I can still know what my husband is there for, how far I can take it, not to invest myself too much into it to where it's like I'm coming out on the short end of it. I just signed up for classes. I'm a junior in college. I owe no money. Why? Because there are men who have been paying my stuff, paying my bills. I've never had to bear a child, get married to them, say I love you. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of women don't understand that, you know, you don't have to sit there and do all those things for a man, for somebody to do something for you. But if you allow that, you stick around for it, then of course you're going to be feeling like you got played. You're going to feel like that. So it's like when women tell me, oh, you should feel bad, you're using those men. What have men been doing for the longest time? Used us up. They done took everything that we have to offer and did something with it to make themselves better,
And
to
you know,
overcome whatever they were going through. So when women tell me, oh, you should feel bad for using that man, I'm like, girl, please, he want to be used. Do you not know what's going on? Have you not accepted what it is? He wants something out of you, you want something out of him. Oh my God, we're all users. Look.
isn't that the point, the
Use
purpose
them
of
up.
knowing that we are the prize, of knowing our power, that we can take what
Hmm.
we want from men without giving them nothing? That is the whole point of recognizing your power. I feel like women like myself and, and Tyler, even Supervillain, even Superwoman, Supervillain even know that trick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we understand our power and we know how to use it against men. And that is why, even low key, they hate us, because they know they are weak when it comes to women, especially if they hetero, especially if they, they get their rocks off. Like, you know what I mean? Like they get a rock hard. Like, they know that they're weak towards women. And that is why they're angry when they hear women like us speak, saying how, yeah, sure, we'll use our femininity, but it's going to be against you to get what we want out of you, because you have an ignorance towards women. And I benefit from their ignorance, how
Yes.
they feel about women. You ignorantly think that just because I talk nice and slow, that I nice and soft, that I'm this so-called feminine woman. And now, oh, y'all pay your bills because you talk so nice, not knowing I'm loud and I'm vulgar, and I'm only doing this for just a couple of months to get something that I need from you. Then I'm right back to hell the way I am.
Because
You
it
know.
depends on what kind of woman you are. Like, I have a friend who, if I go to the bar, I've had instances where we be out, a man just walk up and give me $100 and say, pay for you and your friend, or, and, not even want to stick around for a conversation, just be like, or I'll buy one drink and then all of a sudden a man talking to us, he paying for all our stuff. But her energy, she doesn't bring that. She accepts less than I do. So we're 30 years old and she's still getting conned into going on a Chili's date. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, girl, realize where your power is, where theirs is, and just you know what I'm saying, navigate it. Like, we're too old for you to be getting swindled.
I definitely agree with that. Like, I mean, I don't really very rarely talk about the money situation when it comes to like men and women and stuff like that because now I'm married, so it's different. But when I was single, I don't see no problem with men caking on you and spending money on you. And I had plenty of dudes do that, and they didn't get nothing from me. And I think that that's just all a part of the game. And I think that if you're a woman that doesn't require that, then they won't do it. But if they know that you require it, they will do it. And I think it's all based on your, just like Taylor said, like her energy or whatever she's putting off, how you put it out there, how you represent yourself, that you're that type of woman that you don't come to me broke. Don't come to me with nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I definitely agree with y'all when it comes to that. I just never really speak on that because I feel like that's a single woman's game. You know what I mean? But I definitely, when I was single, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like you
Use them
yes.
for their
I'm
money
not
or
about
their
to tell all
body
my
or
business,
whatever.
but yeah,
I
I definitely agree with y'all. I agree with
I
y'all.
I had a best guy friend some years ago, and it was COVID. You know, stuff was shut down. I ended up messing with his roommate, whatever. You know, and I only talked to his roommate for like a month, and then I cut him off. He was a 2-time baby daddy. You know, whatever. He was just something to do. And my friend Joseph was like, he was like, so you never saw a future with him? Like, you just genuinely, like, you didn't genuinely like him? Like, you didn't think blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, like, why would I ever marry a man who's already a 2-time baby daddy? Like, and who doesn't have enough money to even have a room for his kid? Like, I was like, no, I was just having relations. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, so floored. He was like, I can't believe like you basically used him. You didn't actually care about him and have some fantasy about him. And I'm like, y'all do that to women all the time. You'll hunch on a woman and say, oh, but I'd never marry her, you know? So I'm just like, what's the problem? I have to be genuine with all of my intent, but you can have some type of prerogative as soon as you meet me. No, thank you.
All right. Okay. All right, Taylor. All right. I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna hurry up because I got to end the live. But I'm gonna go down here so that everybody gets a chance to speak before I get out of here. Go ahead, super villain. Oh, T dropped. Appreciate you, T. I'm so glad that you came up today. Thanks a lot. Sorry, all the drama was up here. Go ahead, super villain.
Yes, and this is why I appreciate your space triggered. It's like all different type of women from all different walks of life with all different experiences. And one thing about your belief, when you hear other people's story, it either validates what you feel or gives you another perspective to look at what you've been saying. So I definitely appreciate spaces like this. I did want to come up and say, and this is the balance, right? Because women like T and Taylor, take joy in like manipulating men or using them for whatever their resources is. Then there's women like me that absolutely cannot stand men. Like I couldn't even use them from their resources; they disgust me. Right? I tell women all the time, there's women who can utilize men, and then there's women like me that when I want something nice, but particularly because I have a good job, right, that has a big thing to do with it, I'd rather just pick up a second shift. Like, it's not necessarily about the work that you're doing, right? Because it's all extra work. It's the work, like it's who you're doing it for, right? I can't do the romance and fake thing with men. I can't do it because I really despise them. But I can do another 2, 3 shifts of work, right? Some women don't like hard work like their job, but they can finesse men. And I respect that. That's why I say I'm a true feminist because as long as you're doing what you want to do and it makes your life easier and better, I could never ever, you know what I'm saying, judge anything. The one thing I will say is I think I was pushing back on one thing about accepting the world for what it is. We can say this because we're women in America or the Western world, right? There's women who are in Afghanistan, like we said earlier, who can't speak in public right now. There's women who can't, there's girls who can't go past a fourth grade reading level because of what's going on. That's unacceptable. So I will never tell them just accept the status quo and navigate from there. This is why women in our positions who are able to speak up on it and make some type of change or at least bring some type of enlightenment need to speak. So the status quo and accepting it from there, I will never. I mean, that's a message I can't personally, as a separatist feminist, put out. I can say that women have the choice to do what they want to do. If you want to be Susie Homemaker, as long as you want to do it, listen, I'll support you and buy your cookies all day long. If you're a woman like me who when you get in your bed at night and you feel nothing but more bed and it makes you excited, like that's your favorite part of the day, kudos to me too. That has nothing to do with the married woman who wants to get in the bed with her husband. We all are like women aren't a monolith. We all like different things. My biggest message as a feminist is that it has to be the woman's choice. That's always what I'm gonna harp on. I may not have the same lifestyle as another woman. I may not appreciate or enjoy that lifestyle. But as long as it's the woman's choice, that's what I'm big on. And I think I'm gonna yield there. Thank you so much, Triggered. I always love your vibe. I love to come to a married woman's space and still be a separatist feminist, and you allow me to do that. And I thank you so much. I did want to say that girl you were talking about earlier, that is not your friend Triggered. So you just dropped dead weight. I'm sorry. I meant to tell you that earlier because for her to throw that thing in your face about your earlier relationship, felt like she wanted to say that to you for a long time and was looking for a reason. That gives me the ick vibes. And you're a super cool vibe. I don't understand what the problem was. I don't think she was your friend for real.
Oh, thank you for that. I mean, actually, I was shocked by that. Like, we've been real cool. I've never overstepped or disrespected her or anything. She just said that she didn't like what I said in the lives. And she said that also she is other things that I've said in lives that she didn't agree with. And she said that my opinions of how I feel about things made me feel like I'm not truly her friend because I don't agree with that not even that I would not date a white T man. So I had never did anything to her personally. She just said it was the things that I said in the lives. And I had said to, myself that just from now on, I probably wouldn't make any personal friends that I meet through like my work online. That way I wouldn't risk offending them because of my thoughts. Because I don't feel like I should hold my thoughts back on my public platform because, I feel these things and I don't want to be dishonest or not say certain things because that's how I feel. So I just said from now on, I just maybe if I met somebody in real life and I would never tell them what my online persona is or that I do this, I just keep it private from them forever. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way I feel like it would probably work moving forward.
I don't want that for you, Trigger. Like for me, for instance, I feel like we're, TikTok friends. If I say something that offends you, or you say something that offend me, even if we have a little spat, I'm still gonna come back to your live. And you know what? If the topic comes up again, I'll know from then, you know what? I'm not going to engage in this conversation because I respect your boundary and keep it moving. Like, we have the right as human beings to not agree with everything and feel offended. But as friends, I feel like we can it's the getting over it part, right? You can say something to me, I'll be like, you know what? I wasn't feeling that. I'm still going to come back to your channel. And if the topic comes again, I just won't engage or I'll stay in the comments. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
mean, that's how I feel. I thought that we were cooler than that because, some of my mom always used to tell me is that, you'll know how if you're really friends if y'all get into it. Because if you're able to get over it and y'all able to talk it out and y'all able to, move forward after that, y'all are real friends. But if y'all break up after the first disagreement or something that y'all have, then y'all wasn't really friends. So I guess that's just what it is. Like we just weren't friends like I thought. But like I said, I really genuinely don't get offended by things that people think unless they try to put it on me and you tell me directly, like, I think you're that type of person. If you don't ever say me and I don't feel like you're saying me, like you're being shady or you're really mean me, then I never say, I don't care. Like everybody has a right to feel how they feel. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it is what it is. Like I said, it's just done. And like I said, I don't know. I guess I would say that I just feel like I apologize too. I think I already told y'all that I apologize profusely. I said I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. She said, "Well, I just can't believe that you don't mean that you're judging me and my husband." And I don't understand why she would feel like I would be judging her just because I don't wouldn't be attracted to her husband. I feel like wouldn't you want me not to be attracted to your husband? Wouldn't it be weird if I was talking about like your man all the time? Like, oh yeah, I really like him. I really like white meat. I just, I mean, wouldn't that make you feel weird too? Wouldn't that make you feel like I'm being inappropriate or out of pocket when it comes to your man or your husband? Like, I don't know, but anyway, I appreciate you, supervillain. I really do. You always uplift me. T does too. Coach T does as well. Miss Good News. There's a lot of women that uplift me all the time on here, and I really do greatly appreciate y'all. It means so much to me that y'all do. I just wanted to say it doesn't go unnoticed. I really do appreciate y'all. But I do have to end this live, but I will let Coach T get the last word so that I can get out of here. But go ahead, Coach T.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet and to the point. Women, stay just like Taylor said, it's a game. Learn to play the game. Get your assurances on the front end. Don't wait till to invest and then wait to see what he gives you. When you go into the relationship, come in knowing what you want, knowing what you expect, and when you aren't getting those things anymore, make your exit. It's no conversation, it's no need to keep dragging this thing along. Soon as you're not getting what you want or what you need from that interaction, it's time to go.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I definitely agree with Coach T. I think that a woman sacrificing her all for a man, I don't think in any example does the woman ever come out the winner. Does she ever benefit from that? Because I feel like if a man cared about you and really loved you, he would never watch you sacrifice and struggle in the first place. So a woman sacrificing and doing all that extra, it's never going to work out for you. It never, I don't think so. And I think we've seen as black women far too many examples of women that have done that have only been left busted and disgusted and broken. And that man will turn around and leave and then go give everything that you poured into him to another woman. So that's never good. That's never good. So but once again, you guys, I appreciate everything that you got out there. Everyone that came up on the panel, I appreciate y'all, all of your different thoughts, all of your different perspectives. Like I said, this is a safe space for black women. Everybody is welcome to have their own points of views, including me. And I think that that's a lot of times when people come up, y'all forget that I'm a black woman too. Dang. I'm like, can I have my own thoughts too? But I know everybody doesn't feel that way, and definitely not the women that I was talking to a lot on the panel today. I appreciate y'all, but yeah, like I said, for the people that was in the chat, the two people that violated, I think it was Tanisha and it was like VJ or something like that, and also Tara. Like for y'all, like honestly, it's up and stuck for y'all. I'm gonna find y'all names after I get off here, blocking y'all on all my platforms. Y'all are not welcome. And yeah, I just don't tolerate disrespect like that. So that's just a trigger for me, disrespect of anybody. Because in my life, there have been times in my life where I was disrespected and I didn't have any power to stop the disrespect, or the disrespect was just, allowed by me, maybe because of naivete or youth or whatever. That now if I feel disrespected, it's like such a trigger for me that like it just makes me literally just feel like, you know, like I don't like it. So anyway, y'all. So I'll see y'all later. I love y'all. If y'all black women and you're listening to this, I just want to give y'all backstory so y'all don't think I'm just out here wilding. But if you're a black woman and you're listening to this, you're amazing, you're awesome, you're special, you're valuable, and this will always be a safe space for you. Even if I don't agree, hopefully we all can disagree, cordially, and we can still be friends at the end of the day. So I just want y'all to know I love y'all and have a great rest of y'all week, okay? And thank you so much, Brooklyn. All right, bye-bye.